So you've just got yourself a Sage Barista Express and you're wondering how to get started with it. Probably like a very smart person, you're watching this video, you've gone off and you've watched loads of videos that talk about dosage, that talk about grams, that talk about scales and all sorts of other scary things that not only aren't in the box, but you don't really know where to start. Now if you want to, you can go down that rabbit hole. And sometimes you've got a new toy, you just want it out of the box, you want to start playing with it. I get that. So here is a very, very quick basic guide how to get started with this machine, and I'll try not to use the scales word. I know, I'm going to get atted in the comments by a load of coffee experts who say, but you're not dosing correctly, you're not getting it set up, you're not using scales. And absolutely, you are 100% right. For consistency, really you need to be weighing beans and then getting everything exactly the same every single time. But trust me, that stuff is scary. I've been there. I've had this machine 3 years and I know what it's like to get started. Judging by the comments I've got on my Barista Express unboxing video, quite a few people bump into this quite hard, quite quickly. Here's what I would do and here's how I get up, just to get yourself started. It's worth saying that when you get a machine like this, you're not getting instant button press coffee. You ever go to a garage and you see the coffee machine they've got around the back? They press a button, a drink comes out. That's not what this is. This is a hobby, okay? Needs a little bit of fine tuning, a little bit of love. Is it the best machine on the market? No. But what it's really good at is a little bit of everything. You've got a pretty decent grinder, not the best in the world, but it's a good burr grinder. In other words, wheels that mash together, not blades that chop things up. This is better for consistency. The group head, that's the bit that shoots the water out. And once you've locked the portafilter in, that handle where the coffee goes, once that goes in there, it shoots out the coffee in espresso form. Then you've got your steam wand for steaming milk, and you've got a little water shooter. Oh, plus a handy little tamp device for squishing the coffee down. Squished coffee is good coffee. Let's start with beans. Again, people are going to come at you and say, don't just buy the beans from the supermarket. But when you're starting out, you're going to probably waste a few beans getting coffee you either hate or just like, this is okay, until you've worked out how to use the machine and how to get that working correctly for you. And of course, everyone's taste is different. That's why when you go to the coffee aisle, there isn't just one bag of beans. There's hundreds and hundreds, and you go online and there's thousands of thousands, because there's loads of different flavours, whether you like nutty and chocolatey coffee, or whether you like fruitiness, and whether you like caramel notes. There's all these different textures and flavours to play with. Different beans will give you different flavours, and you need a little bit of know-how in how to get the best out of your machine. What you can do is you can load the hopper up here full of beans and then just grind your way through it as you need it. Personally, I don't do that. I grind as much as I need, pretty much, and let it run dry, and then when I next want coffee, I add that amount again. This means I can switch coffees on the go. I right now have got 3 different types of bean in the cupboard depending on what mood I'm in, because that's how you end up. So I deliberately only have the amount of coffee I need for that one drink right now in the machine. So you've got your beans. I recommend, for starters, and we're going to assume you're going to pull a double shot here. You're going to have a double volume of espresso, so you can taste it and try it. And it's also perfect for adding to a sort of regular mug-sized milk-based drink. This is how much I recommend as a starter. Yes, once you get used to this and you understand it, I would recommend weighing it so you know exactly how many beans you're putting in and how much coffee you get out. And this gives you a lovely recipe you can repeat over and over again. For now, while you are learning, I'd recommend this. I would also recommend you turn the grind amount up to its maximum setting, and you're going to grind through as much of those beans as you can until you hit a certain level. Let's also make sure you're using this basket in the portafilter. That's the one that's very deep, wide, and has all the little holes at the bottom. Hold it up to the light to be sure. I recommend starting from 7 on the grinder, assuming you haven't changed it at all. I've been a bit of a weirdo and changed some of the settings inside the machine, but that's a pro tip for another day. Start beans on 7, see how you go. Now, grind away. Grind until you get quite a decent little mountain. Now notice, something about this machine can get a little messy. They've fixed that in modern versions, ones that released in 2023 and beyond, where they've changed how the coffee comes out. But for now, you can either be a little bit circumspect and lose a little bit of coffee, or I've actually went online to Etsy and found a 3D printed little thing that helps keep all the coffee going into the portafilter. but don't worry about more accessories for now. This hobby is rife with accessories. So keep going until it's just below the surface. Don't worry about this razor tool, it's a silly little thing, I don't know what they were thinking. Now get your tamp and push down on the coffee pretty hard. It'll be a little harder than you think. Okay, the hard work is done. Now you're going to attach the portafilter to the group head here, lock it in place, pop your cup under, hit the double shot button, and out it comes. Coffee aficionados say you're looking for these syrupy mouse tails coming out of your portafilter, these nice thick streams of umber coffee coming through the machine. But that doesn't necessarily work for every single coffee. All you can do now, once that's finished, is taste it. It's your drink, you're going to drink it, you tell me whether you liked it or not, and then adjust from there. If it was too sour, too acidic, grind coarser. If it's too watery, grind finer, change the step value. But expect to use a couple of drinks of coffee while you're getting used to it. And that's it, that's your shot of coffee done. Let's move on to steaming the milk. Now, steaming milk is a whole discipline into itself. How you do it well. I would recommend you answer one question first, and that's, are you looking for a silky textured milk, or would you like a little bit of foam on the top? And they're, you know, two slightly different styles of steamed milk. And again, it's your drink, you have what you want. Fill the milk jug up to the bottom of the spout line, where the indentation is on the inside of the metal. Pop your steam wand in to the very centre of the mug, leaning against the spout. Make sure it's just below the surface, and I mean a couple of millimetres below the surface. And then tilt the steam wand slightly away. Again, this is one of those things you'll find with practice, and watch other videos that go into detail about this step. I'm just getting you up and started. Turn the steam function on and wait for this boiling, ripping noise. You'll know exactly what it is when you hear it. After a few seconds, that ripping noise should dissipate. Try to keep that steam wand just below the surface of the milk. And by the way, this will work with cow's milk, sheep's milk, oat milk, whatever you want to use. If you want more foam, then have the steam wand barely break out the top of the surface. If you just want luxurious silky milk, keep that steam wand tip underneath the surface of the milk. And again, this is something I'm going to give you a starting point for, and you can go off and experiment and find what works for you. I keep going until the middle block of the milk jug is about to turn solid, and that works for me. Turn off the wand, pull out the milk jug and put it to one side. What's really important now is you just point the steam wand back at the base, turn the steam wand on again just to squirt out any milk that might have gone back up the wand. Get a cloth, a damp cloth, and wipe that now, because once it dries on, it's a real pain to get off again. Not impossible, but just one more job you don't need. And then you've got the whole business of pouring milk, making latte art and whatever, which I'm nowhere going to go near today. Just pour it in, enjoy it, and see how you can change it for next time. It's just to get you started and get something out of the box and going. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, I'm not an expert, I'm not a barista, I've just been using this machine for 3 years, and I make the coffee that I like every single day. And I have people that come around and ask for coffee, so I think they like it too. So if you've got questions, feel free, pop them in the box below. And if you found it useful, please hit the like button, because it tells YouTube that other people might find this useful as well. As I said, there are many other more exhaustive coffee tutorials out there for this machine, and I'll link a few in the description below, and you can find the one that works for you. But I hope this has been a good starter for you, and I'll catch you next time.